What's up? Are y'all in the house? Dr. Brookenstein, what's up? John Davis, how you doing? Brenda Woods, what's up? Funk from the front seat is upon you today. Woo! 9 on the Grind TV. Proud to present today's guest, Miss Lisa Graham. Funk from the front seat. Nothing but a party going on. Yeah, yeah. Man, shouts out to people that support the show. Pete Funk Radio. Billy Bill. Get on the funk bus. Thank you. Benevolent Funk. Otis Hawk. Donna Sneed. Next exit. Thank you. Woo. Chrissy Key Rollins. I love you. Thank you for supporting the show. Funk from the front seat. Can't do it without my monster, y'all. You know how funky monster gets when we get funky. Funky with the monster. Woo! I love it. Getting lifted. Yeah, yeah. Tony Cam, I love you. Send me some swag, brother. Funk from the front seat, y'all. Today is our first show of Black History Month in honor of one of the greatest musicians ever to live for Black History Month. I'm rocking my print shirt. Yeah. You know how I go. The Purple Fam up in Minneapolis. MPLS. Yeah, I'm expecting a call from Miss Lisa Graham. But we're going to get the show started. How you guys doing today? Yeah, we got another great one for you. So first of all, peace, love, and harmony. Let me put on my glasses so I can see what they ain't looking at. Peace, love, and harmony. Funk from the front seat. Right here, right from the front seat. First show of February. We made it through in honor of all the Afro-American men and women and Native American men and women that have slaved so hard to make this day possible for all of us. We honor you. There's so many people, and we'll get to that throughout the month. Every show this month, I'm going to be honoring a Black celebrity and their music by the T-shirt that I may wear. So that's just a little something we're doing. Today's guest, obviously, Lisa, will receive one of my favorite songs by Next Exit, Keepers of the Funk. All guests on the show will get a little something going forward. We're going to try to make sure we get it to you, even though the mail is slow. So for everybody out there, if you got a birthday today, if you got an anniversary, I know it was Lodge Curry's birthday and a few other Funkadelics and Funketeers and their birthdays. So happy birthday, Lodge. Love you. And don't forget, shout out. We're going to be running a special sneak peek, which has already been out. Lips Turn Blue, Bootsy Collins video at the end of the show today. Thank you, Mark. And, they actually support the show and all that good stuff. So, all the Funkadelics and the P Funketeers and the Club Funketeer ambassadors, I love y'all. I know you guys support the show. So how you guys doing out there? I hope it's been a decent week for you. I know up in the Northeast and Midwestern parts of the country, we've had a lot of snow. So you guys be careful out there. Remember, we ain't as young as we used to be. A slip, fall down now, break a hip. I find that out just down here walking in the rain. So y'all be careful out there, all right? Don't be trying to shovel no snow. You let somebody do it for you, We go live at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. We right here in the front seat, funking around with some funk music, some good funky conversation. This week is Super Bowl week, Sunday. So I know a lot of people will be into that. Be careful. Make sure you got your mask. Make sure if you go into a party, you got a sanitizer, even though they say you shouldn't. But people are going to do what they got to do. So make sure you just stay prepared. Wash your hands, social distance, all the stuff that is indoctrinated into our mind right now. I want everybody to just kind of, just kind of roll with it a little bit. It's not the end of the world. We're going to get through all of this. Just have a little faith, and we all got to have patience. And shout out to my main man, Q, down in Georgia. I hope you're feeling better, brother. Know that I need you and I love you, man. So, you take care of yourself. That's very important, Q. So, here we are hanging out. Again, our guest today is going to be Lisa Graham, and we're working out some technical issues, and we're hanging out. And I wouldn't be able to hang out with you like this if it were not for my main man, Mark Lee, the man behind the glass, my brother from another mothership. Mr. Mark Lee is back there hanging out, making sure all the technical things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And even though sometimes we have no control over that, so a lot of the different signs are in retrograde. So if some of your appliances and your electronics aren't working correctly, you know why that is. So we got a lot to chop up when Lisa gets on the phone. She's the owner and CEO of the Yakima Amphitheater Arts Awareness Program. She also works for one of the, and this might be Lisa beaming in now. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello, my dear. I'm doing good. Thank you for calling in. I know we have some technical issues from time to time, but that ain't going to stop the show. We're going to make sure we get a beautiful picture of you up there next to me and we can hang out. And I was just talking about you. First of all, how are you and your family doing? You guys okay?
We're okay. We're having a little rift right now.
Okay, well, that's
But
fine.
everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out in time.
It always does, and we'll leave it at that because prayers to you. I care and I love you. And I was just saying, you're the owner and CEO of the Yakima Amphitheater Arts Awareness Program and the creator, and you do all this great stuff, and you work with the homeless. And I was following you on on social media, and you were up in San Francisco. So we're going to get into all of that stuff. I haven't spoken to you since October. So it was
Oh gosh.
yes, it was October 24th, last time we spoke. That's the last time you were on the show. So we got a lot to chop up. So again, hanging out, with the beautiful Lisa Graham, and she's gracious enough to get up early because thank you for that. I appreciate that, Lisa. That's very
Oh, thanks for having me.
that's very kind of you. Is it's amazing. All the things that you're doing. So have you guys been getting hit with this new thing they're talking about attached to this COVID? That's the first question I want to ask. Make sure you're okay.
Okay, and what are you talking about exactly?
Like
Could you update me?
yeah, yeah. There's some new strains that's going around, and it's in certain states. And they were talking about it, and it's not deadly or anything, but they just said, between the vaccine and the testing and this new strain, a lot of the healthcare communities are pretty much stretched to the gills. So is that the case there?
Yeah, there was an instance where we didn't have enough of the vaccine here in
Right,
our community, and
right,
then we were shut down on that part. But I heard that we have that back again,
right. Okay.
so everybody's going to be getting their vaccine.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
mhm.
That's awesome. Because I know you work in that population a lot. So tell me, before I get into to your the thing you're doing with the homeless and the housing for the homeless, and that's something brand new. And also, I know you guys are building, a drive-in theater, so I know that's something new that I wanted to talk to you about. But tell us a little bit about your trip to San Francisco because I know you went on a trip recently. Last time we spoke, you were setting that up. How did that go?
it went very well.
Really?
Um, it was great. Yeah, it went very well. It was well in the fact that we know what's going on there
Right.
in San Francisco. I decided I was actually originally supposed to be a trip, a vacation with my friend John Williams
Uh-huh.
the third, who is entertainment first there in Las Vegas,
Right, right, right.
and he wanted me to go there on vacation or whatnot. But I said no. You know what? I have this weird feeling that we got a serious crisis
Right, right.
beyond what we're really hearing about on the news because we all got distracted by Trump
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. I just had this feeling and stuff that we really needed to check out the situation there in San Francisco with the homeless. So I reached out to Leon Hendricks and Tracy Lewis Clinton.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and asked if they could join me and John there in San Francisco to check out and see what's going on there. And it was, Zach, it was the most, because I was there a few years ago. Jerome and I went and stuff to visit my friend Willie Wild Sparks there.
Right.
And we were lucky enough to meet, go and see Ron Katz-Berman
Yeah.
there in concert and stuff. And I did a video there.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't even close to what it is right now with the homeless population. Not even close.
Right.
Willie was kind enough, rest in peace. You know, he was kind enough to show me the city at the time when we went there years ago, and we checked out, you know, the homeless population there, and he showed me where he used to sleep when he was homeless there.
Yeah.
And it's nothing compared to what it is right now. It is so bad, Zach, there, that there is no law enforcement intervention. They have, it looks like some kind of security system there.
Right.
in San Francisco.
Right.
But we have, what it is there and stuff is there's homeless on the street now, and it's the majority. They are, it seems to be, a lot of them are like disabled elderly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And families there, and you see, and it's a health crisis because you see like people on the street, you know, using drugs, you know, shooting up or whatever, and they just throw the needles on the ground and then people walk by.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a health crisis.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard. I was like shocked as you drive into the area in San Francisco where it's so bad. You can just feel,
Yeah.
you know, because Tracy was in the back seat with me and Liam in the back seat with me, and you could just feel the desperation.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that area and stuff. And then I said, you know, we got to do, you know, this has got to be our focus right now. Has to be our focus.
Yeah.
Because not only there, you know, in my community, we lost 6 people.
Right.
In our community to homelessness, and we're a small area, and that's too big of a number.
Yeah, that's is too big.
Unacceptable.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So Leon said, you know, I'm going to see what I can do with the nonprofit in there in California. I don't know because I haven't had much time to talk to him or whatever, setting up the nonprofit. I'm just going to stick to being a business here in Yakima because I really feel that's where I can make a difference here in my community is giving back. The business part of this.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna set out, and I'm meeting with my mayor in the community, Patricia Byers, on the 12th. And I love this woman; she is so sweet. I'm so glad I didn't run for city council or a possibility of mayor and stuff, because she is that lady.
Right.
That needed to be here in our community. She is that one that brings, you know, the love and, you know, she does a Patricia Minute, you know, on Facebook on Mondays for a little bit to reach out to the community because of the COVID and let them know that she's there for them.
Right.
You know, even though she can't be there one-on-one because our city council, our city hall is closed and stuff, but she is just, I can't wait to meet with her.
Right.
But I'm going to let her know. I'm sorry, Zach, I'm going to go on.
No, please.
I'm going to let her know.
Please.
This is really passionate to me and stuff because, you know, I was really close with Willie and stuff.
I know.
The last few years of his life.
Yeah.
But I decided, you know, since there is no after-school program here, you know, that I can operate, I decided to have a meeting spot here for the homeless in the community where they can just, you know, hang out, get cleaned up.
Yeah.
You know, sit down, just chat it up a little bit, you know.
Catch their breath. That's right. Yeah, catch their breath. Yeah.
And, you know, get washed up. And if they need a place to stay, like, you know, we'd be the lowest barrier. You know, if it's cold at night and they don't have nowhere else to stay, I will give them a place to stay because I have been, you know, downtown with the organizations where they've been struggling, you know, because they did not qualify within our area's program.
Yep.
It's awful.
It's horrible.
Isn't it funny how you know, they turn them away. You don't qualify in our program. Sorry, bye. And it's like, what? How can you do that?
Yeah.
You know, how are you going to turn them away? And then everybody pulls up money to get a hotel room.
Yeah.
And then the hotel, you know, they don't like that either. It's like, oh gosh, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, no. This is about saving someone's life so they can get another chance in another day.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to work on and meet with Patricia about is that, and I'm starting now.
Good for you.
Right now. I mean, I don't, you know, there's rules and they say this and that. No, I can have a friend stay anywhere I want that.
That's right.
America.
That's right.
That's my friend. You could stay at my house.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You could stay at my house.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I'm glad you mentioned that, and I just wanted to take a piece. We're gonna jump back to Willie. For those that don't really know, when you mentioned Willie, the gentleman, the drummer, correct?
right,
And he was Larry Graham and Graham Central Station's first drummer. So when you hear Lisa talk about Willie, for those of you watching out there, that's who she means. And that man laid down the pocket for some serious stuff, and is a rock and roll Hall of Famer. Even though Graham Central Station didn't get in yet, which they should, Larry Graham got in with Sly, but that whole band, just for the record, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if you listen, Graham Central Station, along with many others, need to be in. So I just wanted to let people know who that was, Lisa. But you know what? What bothers me about the homeless situation, and I know because I've been in that situation, it's like they ask you for all of this stuff that you can't possibly have at the moment, that you once had,
right,
or either you have in storage. And then they ask you, like you just mentioned, love, about the criteria. Oh, well, what criteria is it that, okay, I don't have a roof over my head. That should be the criteria.
right.
Everything else is irrelevant. And why they set it up that way, I get the bureaucracy, but thank God for people like you. Again, we're hanging out with the lovely, gracious Lisa Graham. She's an amazing woman out there in Washington and Yakima, and you guys need to really follow and support everything she does. Her information is running along the bottom of the screen. So please, everybody out there that's watching, please support this woman because she is doing great things. Why should you, me, anybody have to watch someone else struggle, and the government is there with billions of dollars, and they're like, nope, sorry, we can't help you. And I'm so glad there are angels like you on this planet. So kudos to you. When you see the show, you can see me tipping my hat to you and giving you a salute because you deserve it. You mentioned something about giving them a place. Are you actually trying to do it in your home or the awareness theater? Is you kind of opening that up at night? What do you actually, where are they actually going to be at if you had to give somebody a spot?
Well, right now, um, all I have is I do have a spot, and it would be emergency. And it's just a trailer that I have
Okay.
right now. It's
Hey,
actually
that's
supposed to be my
something.
concession trailer, but it has heat, and we have water, and we can get cleaned up, and we got food and all of that, and that's where it starts.
That's right.
And
That's
then
right.
I can work into the community and see what they qualify, like in housing and whatnot. But it starts with that emergency to save lives.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
talking about that emergency situation where it's freezing at night or it's too hot during the day, because people don't realize. And I've been caught in the community. I don't like to talk about it and stuff, but Jerome and I, for years and stuff, and years ago, when it would get extreme weather conditions at night, we would run down there and we would pass out blankets and sleeping bags and money for coffee and anything that we could and stuff,
Right.
just so we could make sure that nobody would freeze to death.
Right.
That
Right.
situation. But people don't realize there's also the other extreme weather condition
That's right.
where if
That's
these
right.
people have health problems and it's hot
Yep.
and they're not drinking water,
Yep. That's
and they
right.
may have health conditions and they're going to not make it so well that way. So
Yeah.
we would run down there and deliver water to them, anything we could, let them know, or are you going to stay out of the heat? Do you need something cool, that kind of thing. So
Right.
we are going to be that extreme weather,
Right.
that extreme circumstance where somebody's not going to qualify in the community because because maybe they have a drug problem,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
their sexual orientation or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
There should never be that circumstance
That's
where
right.
someone is turned away because of that. In fact, that's the reason most of the times that they are out there,
That,
whether it be a mental condition
yep.
or something like that.
That's right.
We need to be understanding of that, and let's give them another day. Everybody deserves another day
Yep.
to get something right, or so they can move forward and be successful. Because most of these people, they don't realize, because I spend time with them and stuff, most of these people are just amazing people. They
Yep.
really are. They have done some amazing things, but we need to make their reality match to what they once thought they were. A lot of the time
That's right.
the reality is not matching that for some reason, and they are stuck in yesterday. A lot of them are just stuck in yesterday, and we need to make them. And Willie spent a lot of time with me and realizing what the situation is. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times people say, oh, they need to get a job and they need to, they're just being lazy and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
No, a job is not going to help them.
That's right.
They are stuck in yesterday, and we need to work. It starts with a haircut.
Yep.
I didn't realize this. D World Life, he was here and we were talking about homeless and stuff. He says it always starts with self care,
Yeah, that's
making
right.
them feel better about themselves on the outside so
Yep.
they can start to feel better on the inside so they'll be able to start to recognize the world around them and the reality so they can move forward.
That's right.
And he was right.
That's right. Self-esteem is very important. And when you can't do what you once did in any circumstance, it can beat you down because you realize, okay, I'm not what I once was, but and I had a guest on last week that said, the resume does not define, who you are. And a lot of times, because of that stigma, like you mentioned, all those different stigmas attached to people, they have great stories and they were once me, you, and everybody else. So when they get in positions to where they need a little help, it's not up to us to judge or look down upon them.
Right.
And you once said, and I'm quoting this, unexpected kindness is the most
Oh, yeah.
powerful, least costly, and most underrated agent of human change. And I got to tell you, Lisa, you are human change. You are the change. You're being the change. And the city and the community of Yakima, Washington, are blessed and lucky to have you. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So as you move forward and towards this helping thing, how is this going to play a part in your visual, artistic, creative world?
This is going to play a part because with the home, I'm building the Yakima Valley Amphitheater right now. I mean, I tried to do it as like a private, like a smaller theater
Right.
here and help out other people in the community. Well, it didn't work out so well.
Right. Right.
It
Right.
didn't work out so I was like, that's okay. All of this is a learning experience.
That's right.
We'll just move forward with this. And
That's right.
then I was so Manswell T. Patterson reached out to me
Right.
and
Okay.
said, Lisa, let's work on this. Let's make this a premier theater.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh. He goes, let's make this. And I said, okay, great. And then Jeffrey Battle of Battle Promotions reached out and said, hey, Lisa, let's do this fundraiser for the homeless. Let's get in the Motown greats.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
it
Right.
starts that way. Let's raise the money for the homeless. Get your program going. Help other programs for the homeless as well. And then have the homeless and stuff. Let's work on them. Let's work on their self-esteem. Let's have them a place to live. You see what I'm saying? Let's work it that way so we can make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what this is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because I was gonna ask you about Manswell as well as Jeffrey, Manswell T. Peterson and Jeffrey Battle in the Battleground Productions, because I know I had mentioned that to you, and I'm sorry, you had mentioned that to me, and we had kind of never got into it. So those gentlemen, are they from that area, or are they just from the outside looking in?
They're up from the outside looking in. I think Manswell, I think he's from Georgia, and I
Okay.
think Jeffrey's from Ohio.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Because because
Yeah.
the attention that you're putting on and shining the spotlight for your community, doing what you can, will always attract other positive light. That's why these people are coming into your life now, because it's at a time when the creator knows you're trying to do something good. So, there'll always be that dark thing that wants to stop you, but it won't be able to
Right.
stop you, because number one, I know who you are, because you gonna go through it regardless. But number two, there's a bigger universe effect here of love that's driving everything that you're putting down for those folks out there. And let me tell you, every time I read something or see something or we one of your posts, I know how hard it is what you're doing. But you're a warrior. You are a true funk soldier. You a warrior. And happy early Valentine's Day to you. Since I won't
Oh,
see you
thank
next
you.
since I won't see you next week. And for all you ladies out there, I didn't forget you. Happy Valentine's Day. But it's next week. But anyway, you know,
And I want to say
Oh, go
here,
for it.
we do have a Valentine's Day event that's going to happen at the Art Awareness Project
Yeah, I wanted to
studio
ask you
here in
about that.
Yakima. I can't
Tell
wait.
tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about that.
We're just going to listen to some music and maybe have some dinner and create some art, and then my local community can come on in and we could talk, and I let them know in person what I'm doing.
Okay,
And
that's
then
what.
they could donate or volunteer, and listen to some music, whatever they choose. And,
Right.
let them know that Leon's going to be coming into town here pretty soon. I just heard that. I talked to him real quick. So Leon's
Okay,
coming into town.
that's what's up.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see everyone because everybody's so separated now because of the COVID. And we're going
Yeah,
to have this social distancing event.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Do people out there still follow the rules? Because I know people here in North Carolina are not. It
Um,
bothers me like crazy, man. I'm telling you, they're not doing it, Lisa. And I went into a store, the store owner, I looked at him, I was
mm,
like, where's your mask? Dude, you're touching
yeah.
everything. They're just not doing it. What can I do? I'm going crazy.
Oh gosh, Zach, it was funny. Trace, I don't want to. Okay. Someone suggested I go somewhere, do something for them,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
did that.
right.
Well, I went into this business and I was like, "What's going on here? Nobody's wearing no mask." And I went in there, and it was for a sponsorship and stuff. And I was like, "Okay." Well, I didn't realize, that. But anyways, they kicked me out, and they all put on their masks and they kicked me out. They thought I for everyone because people are dying out there.
Yep,
Okay, people are dying
yep.
of this
That's right.
COVID. So
That's
just
right.
just stay home if you don't want to follow the rules. Or if I walk into your business right away and you're not following the rules, I mean that's not cool. I don't want to go to your business then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to talk about your business.
Yeah,
But I don't want to go. I'm not going to go to your business.
I told the guy at the BP, I was like, I ain't coming in here no more. He said, why? I said, because you ain't even wearing your mask. I said, what kind of example are you setting? You know what I mean? Because
Right.
and then 4 or 5 people come in, they ain't got no mask, and I'm like, why am I working so hard to stay healthy when these people don't even care? It pisses me
Right.
off. Now I'm going to continue to do that, but it just really pisses me off because we can beat this thing if we all just follow this one simple rule. Let's just keep
Right.
ourselves healthy, and it's not a macho thing and none of that old crazy stuff that they make it out to be. Like you said, we got what, over 500,000 people that's gone from this? Is that the latest number? I don't even follow anymore.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
It's
even follow anymore.
it's
So,
it's devastating.
so yeah, so let me ask you something. Last time was in October. We both had pre-election jitters, as did the country, most of the country. So now that we're into the new, we have our first, female Afro-American,
Mm.
biracial, Native American, Indian, Asian
Ah,
woman.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where we are.
Hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on the Biden Harris ticket, and in particular Kamala Harris?
I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Same.
I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a representation of the country as it is today, and we finally need that in this country.
Yep.
We're tired of seeing people up there and stuff that don't represent the majority.
Yep.
The worst thing that just happened to us is we had a man up there speaking hate
Yeah.
to this whole country and world, thinking that was a representation of this country, and it is not.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
not in reality. That was not. And the worst thing that got to me personally is that people pay taxes in this country, and the majority are people of color, and having to sit there listening to that garbage, having to pay your taxes to listen to the garbage in the representation of what we just had was awful.
Yeah.
Now we move forward. And
Yeah.
this is a wonderful thing. Now we have a better day. But I want to say something. All of this and stuff with this horrible distraction. And I want to say thank you and stuff to Kenny Brazil Hamilton for reaching out to me and stuff and acknowledging a serious crisis that we have across the world. We had a serious issue of export
Yeah.
that was cut off during this last administration during the legislation.
Right.
And what a horrible, and I have to say horrible because it is the most that was affected in this was Africa.
Yeah.
Nigeria were cut off of their livelihood when it comes to exports
Yeah.
because of this last legislation.
Yeah.
They're starving to death.
Yeah.
They're starving to death right now, and they're struggling to get income coming back into their countries, and they're working on that with different ways and stuff. But I'm trying to raise money for the people that are helping get the money back to Nigeria, back to Africa, so they can survive.
Yeah.
So if people are interested on how they can help, reach out to Kenny Brazil Hamilton, and he will get with you and stuff and see what you can do. And I'm going to repost his video and stuff to let you know what's happening, because it's been shuffled under and pushed to the side, the real situations that it's, when it comes to survival over in Africa, where, as we know, they were dealing with starvation anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Before this last legislation.
Exactly.
And then this administration came in and just cut them off.
Yep.
And then they're like, "What? We're going to starve to death."
And I'm glad you mentioned that.
People.
Yes, they are. And I'm glad you mentioned. Yep. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because it did get pushed to the side, swept underneath. And this site, or the video that you're going to run, it's going to be on your Facebook page, correct?
Right.
Okay, yeah, you can find it. What Lisa was just talking about, and again, my beautiful guest, lovely Lisa Graham. Please follow her Facebook page and all her social media work. The Yakima, watching Yakima Amphitheater, Art Awareness Program, CEO and creator. She's doing something for the homeless out there. She's actually building something onto the theater, and drive-in and all this good stuff, and working with, Jeffrey Battle and, people like that. And Manswell T. Peterson, to get some things done. Let me tell you, for you guys out there watching, this woman gets things done. I have a lot of ladies that are my friends, and a lot of ladies out there getting things done. And Lisa, you right up there with everybody else, because you have a different kind of mindset about the world, and you're not filled with that hate, evil thing, So Kamala gets in, Biden gets in through this really unprecedented, hectic, very, very hectic time. I'm gonna take you back to January 6th. I'm not even gonna go into the election BS, but January 6th, we're all sitting. Americans wake up on the West Coast. On the East Coast, we're kind of already in the midst of it. And you wake up and you check your social media, this and that, and you see Americans storming the Capitol. What was your first thought?
I was my first thought, I was disappointed. I was really disappointed. I knew it was all a representation of that president, and that demographic of this country. To just kind of it was awful. I was disappointed. I don't know what to say. Zach, I can't describe it.
I know.
I was so embarrassed for the world and us, and how could we do that, But it is who that demographic, they showed who they are.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And the first thing I thought about, believe it or not, the first thing I thought about was people like you, the West Coast, and because I remember the trouble that Oregon and Portland and everything was having, right? And then I thought about, people in New York City, and, just different, wherever I knew somebody at, I thought about that person, because we all felt connected to ourselves as people that are in the light, but a serious disconnect for these other people. And like you know what I'm saying? I was like, why are they doing this? Because
it doesn't make any sense at all.
No,
in my mind.
And this is the very thing that they fight about, like peace, order. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, but this is the very thing that you told me I was not doing, and now you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo.
And we can't help but laugh because it's so ridiculous.
It was absurd. Wow. It was absurd, Lisa, because I'm looking and everybody is hitting me up on Facebook. You seeing this? I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing it, but I don't know what they're doing. It's almost like they all took a hit of LSD or something and
I
decided
know.
just to go for it. And I'm like, but you using the flag to beat down a guy that you claim is your flag. You know what? And yeah, it's so bizarre. And my
It,
and I'm so sorry. Even people that were doing it got killed. I'm gonna
I
be honest with
know.
you, Lisa.
That's the unacceptable part. That
Yes.
part right there,
Yeah.
that's where you stop right there and say, hey, whoa, you went too far.
Yep. Yep.
And really, some people should get charged with some serious,
Oh God, yes.
crimes.
They should
That's
all be in the
better.
same jail cell that Epstein hung himself in. That's my thought. And I'm
Right.
not trying to be mean or cruel. I know
Right.
everybody
No,
sees
no.
me. If you see me looking around when you go back and watch this, I'm looking around because I'm making sure ain't nobody coming over here to get me.
Right.
But yeah, for but that's why my viewers are probably like, hey, what is he looking at? I'm looking around because I know I'm talking some government stuff. I don't know what these people are gonna do, all right? Just for y'all know I gotta add a little humor here. But Lisa, when I see this poor lady get killed and
Yeah.
she said she was angry for something at her job or something, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, and she was an ex-military person. I'm like, and there was a lot of people in the military that was there. And I even asked people in the military that I know, I said, yo, bro, is it that bad? And they was like, they don't know why these people are doing this that way in the military. Because they don't. Because it's like,
Yeah.
what's the point? This is the thing you defended, and now you're fighting it. Why? What did we do to you? Like, it wasn't me or you that did it. And then they're going after
Right. Right.
Pence saying, we're going to kill you. I was like, oh, we in it now, because they're going to really hang some people with a gallows that they're constructing. And I say all this to
Oh my
you
God.
to ask you, we know what would have happened if there would have been brown skinned people up there. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. And I'll leave it at that. But thank you for your
Yeah.
opinion on that because, this is some ugly
Oh,
stuff.
that was going to go in history as the most bizarre thing ever. I would have to say,
Yeah, yeah.
in my mind, it would have to be because there was no, there didn't make any sense at all. I think that proves the point that there's a mental um,
Yep.
issue here in our country. I would have to say there's
Yo,
definitely a mental issue.
there's totally they called it because I was reading about the psychiatrist and they asked him, right? And he said it's like when people are in a mob, their brain waves or something connect and they all get that mob mentality. They get frothy. They start frothing at the mouth. They may have gone there with some just peaceful intentions, but when they see the violence around them, their body automatically gets into that. That's a real thing for those of you watching out there.
Yes, yes,
So it's a real thing, right? But you
it
know,
is.
and the crazy part is the ringleader did all of this, stirred it up, and didn't even have the nerve to go down there himself, because he knew
Yeah,
what would have happened. Now, I'm not going to talk to you too much about the impeachment, but I'm glad they're doing what they're doing. I'm all for it. And again, I tell people out there, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I do vote
right, right.
Democrat, but I'm a liberal in the aspect of I believe in human kindness, peace, and love and harmony. All right. But I always vote Democrat because they're the ones closest to what I believe in. So
Right.
here we are, and we are, I don't know, 2 weeks into, 3 weeks into it. Now we're in Black History Month. Do you think
Yeah.
Biden and the current administration, Kamala, have posted enough minorities of all colors, of all genders in their cabinet? Because I'm hearing a little backlash, but as we're going forward, Lisa, I hear a lot of people saying, okay, they did a good job. What's your opinion?
I don't know because I haven't had the time to go
To
over
check it
that, but
out?
I have to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
haven't had the time yet.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you, it seems to be working out pretty good. There are always going to
Okay.
be enough people complaining, but I know they have really tried. They can't fill every shoe with every foot,
Right,
but they
right.
they are really trying. But kudos to them. And do you have? You're always a apprehensive person anyway. So do you see our glass now half full, getting fuller with this new administration?
I think our glass is half full.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of repair work to be done.
Yeah.
But I want to say it doesn't. It's not really about Kamala, and it's not really about Biden. This is about legislation.
Mm-hmm.
We need real legislation
Yep.
here. We need to focus on Congress, and I think we really need to focus on like term limits when
Yeah.
it comes to some legislative
Agreed.
branches here.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
That's we got people in there lifers, and they're talking about life in 18 years. That's a long time
Yeah.
for people to be sitting in there. I
Agreed.
think that's where change will really take place, and where we need to focus on that. But I focus more locally. I focus on my community, my state, that way. And if everyone really focused that way, I think you would get more of a change.
You're right. Because one of my
Really, really.
You're right. Because one of my friends, Kim, always says that, like, start at the local level. Let's change the laws. And I always encourage people like you, hey, you got to vote your local elections too. So if you're out there, make sure you vote your local elections. We got a big one coming up in 2 years. They're going to try to take it back. We can't let them take it. But you got to vote your local elections because that's when you're going to get more policemen, more firemen, better roads, better
Yeah,
sanitation, the garbage people will come, better street lights and sidewalks and, sewer lines. That's where it is. And people forget that. They think that stuff automatically just comes with the territory, but it does not. You
mhm,
got to go fight for every one of those things. You know what I mean? So, let me ask you,
yeah.
let's shift gears a little bit. Do you have anything that you're going to be doing, in the next few weeks for Black History Month?
Right now, I'm working on when it comes to Kenny Brazil Hamilton. I had mentioned that before
Yeah.
with Joseph
Yeah.
and getting that aid when
Yeah.
it comes to Africa. That's what I'm really focused on right
That's
now
what's
because
up.
there's people dying there right now. I'm talking every night. Um, I have to go over that situation. And for me, because I just lost, because I'm Art Awareness Project, which I am the CEO of, but I use my job to help fund a lot of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just lost my job.
Oh
So
God.
now I'm like, oh, yeah, it's awful. It's awful, but I'm over that. I will move on from that. But I cannot financially fund this aid in this situation. I think really Kenny has more, and I have to talk to him Sunday because Sunday is his day, and hopefully we can reach out and talk about this. But this aid, when it comes to Africa, for Black History Month, is what I'm working on, and it's not going to take much money to get this going and feed a lot of people over there. It's going to
Yeah.
be an amazing thing.
Yeah.
What's going to happen there? But that's what I'm working on, and of course, our Valentine's Day
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that we're going to have here. And of course, when Leon comes in, he says he's going to have a performance, you know, there. So that's what I'm really working on when it comes to Black History Month,
And that's a beautiful
which is
thing.
every month for me, of
Yeah, it
course,
is. That's
because
right.
my family
Yep.
is African American, and my friends they were
Yep.
African American.
Same.
So yeah,
Yeah, same, same.
yep,
And that's very well put. And I'm so sorry about your employment situation. But don't worry because God has something bigger and better for you that's going to be coming. He uses us as he needs to use us. And believe me, you're
yep,
one of his best angels down here. So you're not
mhm,
going to be let down. For everybody watching, make sure we keep this in mind and we always pray for each other,
yep,
because we need to uplift people like Lisa. We need to constantly make sure they know, that we love you, Lisa. That's why I love having you on the show. I plan to have you, every couple of months, because you're doing such great things and people out there need to know. This is a fun show, but I also want to always highlight people that are doing beautiful, spiritual, positive things. And Lisa Graham, Art Awareness Program, you are most definitely one of them. You're one of my truest, true funk soldiers, a member of the Nappy Head Funk Army.
you're always a fan.
And remember,
Oh,
everybody that's in my band, I got a million people in my band now because I say, listen, if you down with me, you a member of my band. You get up there and shake a tambourine or something. And it's true. Watch, I'll do that wherever we perform. I try to, at some point, if we're playing a song, I try to get as many people as security will allow safely to be on stage. And there's been times when I've had quite a few. So, and I actually took that from the P Funk tree because they do it. Prince did it. So I was like, you know what? That's a real cool thing. I understand why they do that. So here we are, in the month of February going forward. We got a lot to look forward to. And your program, of art awareness is basically geared around showcasing the talent that you have right there in your home state,
Oh,
as well as from other places. So tell us a little bit
right.
about a few of your young artists and some of the things that they may be involved in.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to say M Status. M Status, Mitch Worry, local, right here.
Right.
I met him here in the community years ago. He is, I think he's like, I don't know, I'm not sure of all the details, but he's like a preacher's son
Right.
here in our community.
PK.
With the Baptist, yeah. And he lost his father, you know, not too long ago and stuff, but he has grown so much in the community and outside of the community.
Right.
He's on our local radio stations nonstop.
Okay.
He's playing in Europe right now.
Okay.
I'm got the radio right now going and stuff, 99.7.
Right.
Blaze Alvarez, I love you, Blaze. He plays on the radio station here nonstop and stuff. He's amazing.
That's what's up.
Eric Gonzalez and stuff. Oh gosh, there's so many people here in our community that the artists are just amazing when
Right.
it comes to music.
Right.
And I can go on and on about that, but the other artists that I'm working with across the country are like the greatest. Like oh gosh, Levert,
Okay.
Michael Black.
Okay.
I'm working with him.
Right.
Levert, Tracy Lewis Clinton, Trezay, of course, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Working with him. Leon, of course, his music. Oh gosh, so many people to mention and stuff. So many different names or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, I'm really blessed to be working with all these great.
That's a blast because that corner of the world definitely has obviously Hendrix and Nirvana and people like that, and just the amount of cultural creativity, I call it. People forget because people think California, and they think middle of the country, Chicago, Atlanta, Georgia, New York, whatever. But that part of
I
the
have to say something, Zach.
yo
I
yo
have to go back and remembrance here when I was in high school and stuff.
uh-huh
When we used to hang out with Michael Avery,
uh-huh
and his parents were the producers of Cagney and Lacey.
wow.
Okay, the
Yeah.
TV show back in the day.
Yeah.
And we used to have those legends and stuff come to the parties at his house.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
at the time I didn't realize it.
Right.
I can't remember which ones they were, but
Right.
they would come to like Christmas parties at his house, and we'd have these huge parties and stuff with these rock and roll people.
Right.
There were
Right.
just hundreds of people at his parents' house, and he would throw these big, huge parties, and that was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
I know
pretty cool.
that is cool, right? Because
Yeah.
we see people all the time on this big image thing, and we forget they're just people. But when we see them, I know every now and then, very rarely will I get starstruck, but every now and then I'll be like, "Oh my God, that's so and so." You know what I'm saying? Like the first show, I'm like, "That's so and so," and then you forget what you actually gonna want to talk to them about. But the music game that you're involved in and the industry,
Mhm.
as far as just people helping you, that just goes to show how much people love you and care about what you're doing.
Aw.
These people give their time, and you give back. Everybody can see what you're giving, so people are always going to be willing to help and give back because what you're doing is important to the world, and you're changing the world. If you were going to talk to the world right now, and you had a microphone and you're Lisa Graham and you got the whole world, basically the United States first in your sights, black, white, rich, poor, whatever, and you're trying to give them a message of peace and hope, what would be your message of peace and hope to this divided country?
I say right now it's a time for everyone to get together and be kind, be
Yeah,
understanding.
yeah,
Forget about all this race. Division. It was all something. It was all it's real. It's real. It's something that we needed to address in this country.
yeah,
But now it's time for all of us to come together.
yeah, yeah,
Now it's time for all of us to come together. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not, if you're that, hurt about things, just leave us alone. The
Yeah.
ones that are trying to heal this country.
Right.
Just leave us alone.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right. That's right. You know, and
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing because I can picture you at a podium and eloquently, as you just put it, just letting people know the deal. And that's really all most people want. I mean, I never once told somebody, hey, I don't want you to have your AK-47. I just tell them I don't want you to have your AK-47 and shoot up a theater. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or a school. But as far as that
Right.
goes, remember everybody was like, oh, the guns, guns, guns. They've been saying this since like forever. And yet no one has ever taken away anyone's guns. So for you gun owners out
Right.
there that keep harping on that same old BS, no one has ever tried to take your stuff away. Number one.
Right.
Number two, if you want to live in the backwoods and be an outdoorsman and live in bunkers, I will not stop you. I don't want to come on your compound. I don't want to be around you. You're not hurting me. Just don't bring that crap to Ninth Street where I live at. You know, so
Right.
and
Right.
so they're the mentality that some people have to go against what's happening in the country. They live in a free country. They wouldn't be able to do some of this stuff in other countries. They would get
Right.
executed. You know, in Russia, if they tried to do that in Russia, they would have all been executed. So they're fighting for the very thing that they're fighting against, fighting for. Again, their mentality. Nobody's trying to take that away from you. So if you're listening and you're watching this show, know that I'm going to love you whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're gay or straight, whether you're rich or poor, black or white. I'm always going to love you because that's what some of us want. We ain't trying to hate
Right.
you. Just don't hate us. That's all it is,
Right.
right? It's as simple as that,
Right.
Lisa. It's as simple as that, you
Right.
know? And this is why I love having you on your show. Your vibe is so positive and so powerful. You know, because um everything that is happening, you've been able to overcome obstacles and still get all your stuff done. That's a powerful person right there, you know. So going forward,
That's what Kenny said to me. Kenny Brazil Hamilton. He said, Lisa, how strong as you are, he said, that's currency.
yo,
He said, that's currency. And I was like, that's what I need right now because I don't have that.
yeah, and believe me,
Energy, meaning energy, and I need the money also right now because we have to move forward.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
have to say something real quick. I
Go
have to
for it.
say something real quick about our drive-in amphitheater that
Uh,
we have here in the community.
uh,
That's why I'm meeting with Patricia to see what kind of what you call it things that we need to get started.
yeah, your
We have to
specs.
have what is it called? What is it called? Anyways, I'm
Yeah,
meeting with her. But with our theater, it's a drive-in theater, and it's going to be safe because we're going to have a screen, and everybody's going to be separated, and we're going to be within the COVID guidelines of a live performance. And it's going to be a safe stage, meaning that if someone was to come in with a gun, everybody can be in their car and get out. And the performers will be safe as well because now they're making guns and stuff that are undetectable by
yeah,
metal detectors, and we
yeah,
can't win.
yeah,
We can't
yeah,
win this.
yeah.
People love their guns. I myself, we tried to in the community, like stop the AK-47s because we know there's nothing to do with hunting
I know,
with
right?
that or protected. That's like that's a mass weapon of destruction right
Yeah,
there.
that's a
That
war weapon.
we
That's
we
a
can't
weapon
win.
for war. Yep.
Right. So in that point, we kind of lost out and we said, we can't change anybody. We have to change ourselves. And that's why I developed the COVID stage, which is within the COVID guidelines
Yeah,
and which is safe for the performers and the people that are attending because it's a drive-in theater.
yeah, yeah,
So we're excited. And it's not that much to fund this theater to make it a premiere in space.
yeah,
So as soon as we get support across the country, across our state and our community, we'll get this going. And then the money goes to help the homeless and to help fund people starting up businesses again.
yeah,
We
yeah.
need that because we lost so many businesses,
Yeah, we did.
not in just my community, across the country.
Yeah, we
And it
did.
was all in the corporate world gained
Yeah, they
a
did.
massive amount. They closed the small guy down, threw him a little bit of money,
Yep,
but the corporate world grew
yep. That's right.
astronomically.
Yep.
And I'm letting everybody know, things are not always going to be that way corporately either. So
That's
be
right.
careful.
And they also got
We have to start up.
they also got that bailout again, corporate America, and they made billions of dollars during the pandemic. And I saw that by insider
Yeah.
trading and insider deals, selling off this stock before they knew it was going to crash, turning their friends onto it, getting those under the table deals about those stock deals. And all of that to me is illegal. We just as the working bees don't have the economics to fight that. And like you
Right.
said, I want everybody that's watching this show, please, if you can, support what Lisa's doing. Anything will help. $1, two, drop it to this woman.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys can do out there, we're going to try to promote on the show, and I need everybody to do that. We do stuff for Bootsy and Patty, so we're going to do it for you as well. You can find Lisa on my Facebook page, her Facebook page. She's all over social media. Lisa Graham, the Yakima. Washington Amphitheater, out in the West Coast there, up in the Northwest. And, she's a CEO, creator, works with the homeless. And I know you also do something with kids. Tell me a little bit about that.
With the kids, it's great. And the same as other artists as well, is we have the kids create art. And then what I do is I sell the art for them as a donation, and then they get the money.
Right.
And yeah, I do that and stuff because I can't do the after school art program because of the COVID.
Yeah.
Parents they don't want the kids to come into the studio because of that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to set up my YouTube channel here, and Kenny Brazil Hamilton, he was going to walk me through that, but I wasn't ready for that. But as soon as I get my YouTube channel going, if everybody can subscribe to that, and then the kids can watch and create art that way and submit their art, and I could still get their art and have them donate, their art, and then they can get the money, that would be great.
Okay. At any time,
Yeah, so
because on my Saturdays now, this is my own network, Not on the Grind TV. And anything that you want to show, it doesn't have to be on this particular show. You could actually have your own show. Just let me know. I'll be willing to help you, and we can show it whenever you like. So any help you need with that, you let me know. There's a platform here. It's available. You're one of my special angels down here.
Oh my gosh, thank you,
Yeah.
Zach.
So if you need it, like you say, hey Zach, I want to do a show Wednesdays at 2 in the afternoon. Let me know. We shoot the show, and they come on, and I'll make sure it's on. Mark, my producer, is always willing to help. Do things as well, because we're doing this now on our own. We got our own thing happening. That's why you see Not on
Oh
the
my
Grind
gosh,
TV.
thank you.
Yeah. And I'm still at the other
Thank
place
you.
on Sundays, but now I'm here on my own thing on Saturdays. So, you chat me up, we talk about it when you're ready. Get Kenny,
Yeah.
and then we figure it out. And then you got another platform besides your own. I just want you to know that, okay? Whenever you need
I
it,
appreciate
whatever you need, if I can help you, I'll be down to get it done. We'll make sure it works. So yeah, that's cool. Because um, when I hang out and I chat with you, it's like I feel like you're right next to me. Even though we had technical problems today, that's why you only see Lisa's picture out there. But I always feel like you're so close, because we've become close friends over the years that we've been friends on Facebook, and I always feel better. You're one of the people. You know how you have people in your life where you always feel better after you talk to them. I always feel better after I hang out with you. I really do. I
Oh,
swear to
I
God,
feel the same way.
it's a real thing inside. You once said 3 things you should never feel guilty of, and one is change for the better, knowing your worth, and staying true to your vision. So let's take number
Right.
one, change for the better. What did you mean by that?
You always have to look inside yourself and ignore the negative parts and always move for the positive. Forget all the negative things that, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We all do.
Yeah.
And mistakes are not a bad thing. Mistakes, if you learn from them, are a good thing.
That's
and
right.
then that way you can move on.
That's right.
Move on to the better. Yeah.
That's right. And knowing your worth. That's
Yeah.
that's a huge thing. Something I've learned over the years, because in the beginning of my career musically, a lot of people took advantage of me because I didn't really know my worth. I didn't really start
Right.
to understand
Me
my
too.
worth until a lot of people started to ask me, play here, play there, whatever. And then I'm like, well, okay, I got to start asking for more because I was just so willing to do it because for the love of playing. What did you mean by knowing your worth?
I'm the same as you, Zach. For the longest time, I didn't know um, my own worth, and I don't know where that comes from. It's probably humility,
Yeah.
where you don't, because everything comes from the heart,
Yeah.
and you see everyone as a reflection of yourself, and we're not all the same. Honestly, we're all people, and we are the same that way.
That's
But not
right.
everybody is at the same learning, the same experience,
Yeah.
the way that they were raised or whatnot. So sometimes you can get trapped in that,
Yep.
and you can be, a victim of your own heart.
Yeah.
So you have to realize and protect yourself in knowing who you are as a person. That way that you don't get bogged down,
Yeah.
by someone else
Yeah.
or whatever. You can, love people from a distance.
Yeah.
That's what I've had to learn, and then that way we can all rise together that
Yeah.
way.
That's right. That's
And
right.
it's not you don't ever put someone else down.
Yep.
Protect yourself, because I've had to do that recently.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at protect. I was always raised that you never fight back.
Yeah.
And I had to learn on my own that sometimes you have to put your hand up.
Yeah. That's right. Boom.
You have to, because
Yep.
you will be in danger
Yeah.
sometimes if you don't stop something. And that's what I've, done here lately. You have to know your worth so you can move forward and help others. And you got to be with the right people on the inside. You can have certain people on the inside, but you have to know that those people, not just a guess, you have to know in reality who you're dealing with on the inside.
That's right.
You have to.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that energy that we attract inside and outside, we got to be really careful, because that dark negative energy can creep into some of the best people, and then you're like, hey, you was this the other day, now you that, and then you
Right.
realize, wow, their energy is just all wrong for me today. I had to do that. I had to cut a person I knew here, and and one day, we was just having lunch, and all of a sudden that energy that she projected hit me wrong. And I kid you not, I got right up right then and there and said, I gotta go. And the person's like, hey, you
Yeah.
leaving? You leaving? I was like, yeah. I was like, I gotta go. I can't be around you. Something is not right. And I haven't really dealt with that person since, because they were trying to put me in a position to argue about some stupid stuff. And
Oh,
I just nipped all that in the bud. I was like, no, I'm not going there. And they was like, oh, you don't want to finish? I was like, no, I have no desire to.
no.
Staying true to your vision. What do you mean by that?
Always know what you're going. Your visions, should be your ultimate goal of what you're doing. You will find, distractions along the way, because I am the best at being distracted, because I love people.
Yeah,
I love
same.
people, and I can get distracted so easy on that. But whatever your goal is,
Yep,
stay focused on your goal. Don't let someone else try to pull you this way,
yep.
because they'll do that, because they want you to come off the track.
That's right.
They
That's right. Yep,
come do what I'm doing over here, because you've got that energy. They want you to do no.
yep,
I will help you. Just wait a second from a distance to stay focused on your vision.
yep.
Because if you stay focused on that, you will complete yours, and you can help everyone along the way.
That's right.
But you have to stay focused. Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because people do want to pull you away, because they see you doing something, and they're like, well, if I pull him away from that or pull her away from that, then they won't be able to reach their goal, and then I can in turn use that energy. But a lot of times, now that you and I are hip to that, it backfires, because
Oh gosh.
nowadays,
Hmm.
we can just at the click of a button be like, okay, I ain't got time, talk to the hand, and get on to something else. That's the one good thing about social media. You're not, it's not, some people are a slave to it, and they don't think they can break away from certain things. But I'm like, yo, dude, just cut your phone off.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I was like, because
Uh-huh.
people like, oh, I'm stressed about this, and this one said that, and oh, Facebook and this and that. I was like, yo, cut your phone off. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. So, Lisa, let me tell you something. You've been an amazing guest. An hour flies by so fast when I'm chatting with you.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I
it's like,
love talking to you, Zach.
yes, yes.
I love you so much. You've always been here, for my project and for me as a person on some, rough days, as we all have. And
Yeah,
you're always, a light for everything that I'm doing. I appreciate and love
Same,
you so much.
same. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring my producer Mark Lee on for a second. He wants to ask you something. And then we're going to get
Okay.
out of here, and I'm going to let you go. And you call me, and we'll talk about that thing, and you set up on the network, and we get you started. However you want. It ain't going to cost you a penny, nothing, nothing
Oh
at
my
all.
gosh. Thank
Nothing,
you,
nothing,
Zach.
nothing at all. All your profits and all your money that you will make if you are Nine on the Grind TV will be yours. I don't want anything from it.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right, so we'll make
Thank
sure
you,
that works.
Zach.
So for everybody out there watching, please support Lisa. Please support everything she does. She's a beautiful, positive, loving, generous, caring, humble spirit and servant of the Creator. Let me tell you something. This woman is an amazing person. She's one of the true angels that walks this planet Earth. So that's how that goes. Mark, why don't you jump in
Oh,
for a
thank
minute
you.
because I know you got a question for Lisa because you're always chomping at the bit at my guests, and you better not be doing nothing else back there like producing three shows because Mark can produce a number of shows at once. Sometimes he's producing mine, and then he's doing stuff for IBM at the same time, no less. So if he ain't back there, I know he's up to something. So if you back there, Mark, you can jump on. If not, it's cool because I can sit here and chat with the lovely Lisa. So you may miss your window, Mark. You better get in. See, yeah, because this is how Mark and I go. You better get in. Your window's gonna close in about 2 minutes. Are you into sports at all, Lisa? You into sports?
I'm not myself. I love basketball, of course. It's
Okay,
my favorite one, but I don't play. But I love basketball. Yeah.
because it's Super Bowl Sunday, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and that
I like the halftime shows.
you like the halftime show, so you don't have a
Yeah.
favorite team you picking at the moment.
No, I don't.
Okay, just for the record out there, those of you that know, I'm going for Kansas City. Although they've been having some real turmoil themselves, but I can't root for Brady. He's a beast. I love him. He may be the goat, but I can't. As a Jet fan, I cannot root for that man only because he was too good in my division. So I know you guys are thinking about that. But yeah, so we're hanging out and we're just kicking it here with my good friend, my funk sister, and everything that goes with that. Lisa Graham. And all the great things that she does. Her scroll is on the bottom. Please support her. Support all her projects and everything that she's doing because it's an amazing effort by one amazing woman. You remind me of Harriet Tubman. You really do. You got that.
Oh my gosh.
Someday there'll be a
Well, I'm a
statue.
different color.
You are, but you know what? Inside, you just remind me of that. Someday there'll be a
Oh,
statue of you next to that Jimi Hendrix statue that I still got to get out
oh
there
my
and see. There'll be a statue of you
God.
somewhere, somehow. Because you deserve one. So I'm putting it out there. Yakima, if you're listening, start building a statue of this woman now. Save yourself the time and trouble. And eventually, when you get into politics, city council or whatever it is, because I can see that in your
I don't
future
want
too.
no part. I don't want no part of that.
I know
I don't want no part of
you
that.
said that. You did. You say that all the time. You're like, nope, nope, that's not me. 'Cause yeah, and I can see that, but you know what? You never know.
I know. Yeah, true. I like it.
You
Yeah,
never
it's true.
know. You never know. You never know. But anyway,
Yeah.
thank you, Lisa. I'm not going to keep you long. I know it's early in the morning. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll be in touch, and you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.
You too, Zach.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care of
Thank
yourself.
you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
That was the amazing, beautiful Lisa Graham. For everybody out there, peace, love, and harmony has always been our mantra here on Funk from the Front Seat. I would like to thank, Bootsy Collins and Peppermint Patty. We're going to be showing their video coming up, Lips Turn Blue. I would also like to thank P Funk Radio, Keith Jackson, Brenda Honeybee Robinson, JTRP, Gabe Gonzalez on Wednesday nights, totally blistering it up. Robin Denson, Circle of P. Larry Funkster Jones, my brother from another mothership, does his thing on Saturday nights. So, tune in to P Funk Radio. I know you guys are following that. Also want to thank Philly Phil, get on the Funk Buzz, Uncut Funk. out of Texas. He's the man. He turned me on to P-Funk Radio and, Ricky Vincent and Philly Phil. I love you, bro. I know you crushing it down there. His show's on Tuesday nights. So what we got to do is start supporting all of these different shows as we have been as Funketeers, because that's very, very important that we continue to keep the funk alive. All right. And also, too, if you're out there watching and you're interested in the new Nappyhead Funk Army stuff, we're trying to get back in the studio, trying to work on some stuff and trying to get it out. We're going to be dropping different snippets of stuff, but and the Nappyhead Funk Army alumni, KHX Experiment, Kevin Harrington, my producer and drummer, his new stuff is out. John Groovalicious Willis, his new stuff is out. William Bush, his new stuff is out. Eric J, Stay on Code, his new stuff is out. And all of these are my brothers, and they all, perform in the band, when we actually will perform live once again. Andre LaSalle, I know he's doing some stuff up in New York, as well as my boy Carton Collier down in Atlanta, Georgia. Can't wait to play with you, General. Mark Lee, my producer, he's trying to get some stuff ready that we're going to show this Bootsy Collins Lips Turn Blue video. And also, I want everybody to know, anybody that's got new music out, and if you see it on any of the social media outlets or whatever, it doesn't take much to try to support it. If it's not monetary, at least drop a line and be like, yo, that's tight. Oh, also forgot my man, Bottom Boy, Al Rashad down in Florida. He just got his new project out, as well as Jeff Roberson, Long Island Gospel Sound. They got their new stuff out. So there's a lot of underground music that's above ground that people are putting out that's in the circles I run with. So I need all you guys to check that out. Please go and support it. Obviously, nappyheadfunkarmy.com. You can support what we're doing. We don't have much merch out right now, but we're working on that in conjunction with Q and, that whole thing. So everybody sit back, relax. You know what time it is. It's time for the roll call. Roll call. I want everybody today take a nice stretch it out, and understand we love you, and you guys are the keepers of the funk. You're the keepers. Georgia, where you at? New York City, New Jersey, what's the word? Plainfield, DC, Chocolate City, what's up, Dr. G? How you doing? We're gonna get that Funketeers ball on too. Ohio. What's up, Brenda? What's up, Bootsy? What's up, Patty? Woo. Indiana's in the house, y'all. Minnesota, MPLS. I love you, Vanessa. I love you, Ernie. France. Yeah. Canada, where you at? Woo. Alright. Clap your hands, let's go. Come on. Georgia, Texas, New Orleans. Dr. Anthony, I love you. Tish Oakley, Earth Monkey Energy. I love you. Chrissy Key Raleigh. Holistic Restoration. I love you. California, West Coast, Washington State, Lisa Graham, I love you. Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma. Yeah. I miss y'all, man. I miss playing out live. I really do. Australia, down under. I love you. Dr. Brickenstein, what's up, bro? I love you. Keepers of the funk.
Teddy Soul Sister, my favorite girl in Germany. Gangsterville Radio. Check her show out on Friday afternoons and Sundays. Steady Groove. Got a new groove. International Beat Bangers Passport. Steady Groove. I love you, bro. Germany. India. Dubois. Woo! And Kid, what's up? Virginia. I love you. North Carolina, South Carolina, I'm all in. Bayshore, Long Island, woo! I love y'all out there. Nothing but the funk on Funk from the front seat, 9 on the grind TV. Yeah, yeah, you know how we get hype? Yeah, yeah. Been another great show. I'm out of here, y'all. George Clinton, I need to get you on the show. Derek Shiner, come on, boy. I need you. I love what you're doing, my young man. Happy birthday, Lodge Curry. I love you, sir. Abuka, Eyes On, all keepers of the funk, y'all. The clones of the funk. I need y'all to come on. Joe Keys, Lake Bloomer fan, I love you. Funk from the front seat. Brenda Woods, how you doing? Keepers of the funk. I'll see y'all next week. I love y'all. Y'all stay safe. Stay.
Pick up the phone, baby. I just want to tell you a few things. Like, I long to see those magical moments when it was just you and me. When I kissed your lips and you stung me like a bumblebee. Do you remember the time when you first crossed my mind? And I kissed your lips and ate you like a chocolate chip, baby.
3 strikes, you're out of time. You gone and crossed the line. Tell me where you've been, boy. Running around with God knows who, it's no surprise. And you can say you're sorry till your lips turn black and blue. But darling, your apology is too far overdue. Promising you'll change and never share your love again. You're talking to yourself, don't waste your breath. Maybe he's like así, estaré cerca de mí. Sobre todo siempre estaré contigo. Dentro de ti desde lo emocional. Y yo iré por ti duele. No dejaré que me moleste. Que yo te veré contigo, contigo. There are no more second chances.
Yeah, Bootsy Collins, Black and Blue. That's tight, yo. We still on the air and we live, and I just want to make sure that I got that in because being a Club Funketeer ambassador and having all the Club Funketeers down with us, we promote everything that's out there. And Philly's in the house, Dr. Brookenstein, I love you, bro. Mr. Mark Lee, can you jump on for a minute, bro? I just want to say hi to you, man. Make sure you're okay back there, bro. I miss you, man. You all right?
I'm doing good. You were rocking a great show and all of that, so I was definitely enjoying you and Lisa Graham and all of that conversation. But yeah, y'all were rocking and definitely doing really good. So I was enjoying what she was talking about, what you were talking about, and definitely the great work that she's doing on the West Coast. So yeah, I'm doing good and was enjoying definitely Lips Turned Blue because that's a great funk song and all of that. So definitely you are rocking really well and all of that. So definitely glad to be able to be part of a Nine on the Grind and the great work that you're doing here and everything because you are doing some amazing things with Funk from the Front Seat. And I'm just glad to be part of this amazing team that you have.
Yo, bro, let me tell you, man. I was thinking the other day, and kudos to Mark. For those of you that don't know, Mark is the one that introduced me to, this platform and things that like that. We talk about that all the time. So, but I was gonna tell you, man, it's almost coming up on a year, man. Can you believe that? For those of you
Wow.
that have been supporting this show, um, this May will be a year. So we've done quite a few shows in the can. I don't know how many we did. I'm going to go back and count them.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to do something really special in May. Like we're going to have to just completely, I don't know, maybe I'll be doing Funk from the Front Seat from the space shuttle or something.
Yeah, we're going to do something like
we
that.
got to we got to have to really, take it to another level, you know what I'm saying? Because I think the audience and the fans deserve it. All the
Oh, yeah.
people that out there faithfully watching today, Lisa Graham, amazing guest. Please support her. Go on her
Yeah.
Facebook page. And I want to let you know Mark Lee has about 5 shows. You can find all his stuff on Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, on Monday nights on IBM TV. You can find all his stuff. So please follow Mark Lee. Also, he does, this blues show, radio show,
Yeah.
for WCOM. You can tune in on the internet and catch that on Thursdays. This is one of the hardest working men in showbiz. His face is right up there next to James Brown. So I just got to say that, and not to mention all the amazing guests that Mark turns me on to, So there's always a team. Mark is part of the team, part of the Nappy team. David Brooks, part of the Nappy team. Shout out to H&L Entertainment, Heidi, my booking agent. Shout out to Aquarius Rising Art. Pat Dioria, I love you. She makes all our business cards and things. For those of you that don't know, Pat Dioria, this is her work. And she keeps us tight. Shout out to Curtis Wilcox. Everybody knows Curtis Wilcox work, And I just met a new gentleman, that's going to be doing some stuff for me. So, I want to make sure that, I get his name in there too. But yeah, again, Funk from the Front Seat, great show. My own platform now, not on the Grind TV. So I don't have a time limit. I can say what I want and I can do what I want. We're going to keep it clean and keep it spiritual, just so you guys know. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to have a platform to express yourself. So, Mark, tell me, like, if you were going to tell the world right now about a significant event that happened to you concerning Black history, what would it be? You tell me yours, and I'll tell you mine.
Well, there were
What was your moment that you realized Black history was going to be a thing?
Well, there were a couple of them. Definitely, growing up in the 60s and everything like that, the March on Washington was definitely something that resonated with me a lot and everything. I was actually just talking to my dad recently, and we remember going up to D.C. for one of the anniversary celebrations. I think it was like maybe 25 or 30 years after the March on Washington up there in D.C. and seeing a lot of folks in that neighborhood remembering Dr. King's speech and definitely getting to see a lot of things going on in DC. So that's one of the things that I remember. And then, of course, also the year that my brother was born, 1969, was also the year that the Malcolm X School was created right here in Durham, North Carolina. So like I've told you before, my brother actually decided he was going to do a little kicking during that time. So mom got to miss the celebration because she had to rush to the hospital and everything in order to deliver my younger brother. but definitely I remember the Malcolm X school that was here in Durham. So those are two things from two different folks, but a lot of times they had more similarity than differences. So a lot of times people concentrate
Yeah.
on the differences between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, but I think that they had a lot more things in similarity than they did in differences. So definitely that's one of the things that I always resonate is definitely the messages of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, because I think that they were both very proud to be African American and also saw a lot of things that they wanted to see changed in society. Unfortunately, some of the things that they were talking about having happened way back in the 60s when I was a baby are still a long way from anywhere near reality. And we're in the year 2021. So we're talking about 50 plus years since the time that they were having their messages about humanitarian efforts, about not fighting in major world wars, about things around climate change, around the injustice in the prison system, around a number of other issues. You notice that the four issues that I just mentioned just then are things that are going on even now in 2021. So definitely it's a shame that even though we've got these folks that were fighting against these kind of things, that the struggle still continues and that we still have a long way to go. We can even go back to like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, and some of the things that they were fighting about are still things that are being fought for in this day and time, even though that was in that case 100 plus years ago. So it's like a continuous battle that we're always in the middle of and all of that. But I am one that believes that the battle will continue and we will have victory eventually. So that's just my
That's
thought.
right. And I agree with you. And thank you. And I'm gonna tell you mine, but first I want to holler out. Milo Z Funk, thank you. Appreciate you. Anytime you want to come on the show, we're gonna have you on as a guest. I'll hit you up later and we can chat about that. Also, I'll be more than happy to run your video. Because you have something and it says of hope and justice and peace. So you sent me the link. Please send it to my messenger, Milo. Okay, send it to my messenger. You can find me, Zach Robinson, on Facebook, whatever. Send it there as well. But I'm gonna contact you, man, because I want you guys to come on the show and hang out with us and chat on Funk from the Front Seat. You're down, brother. I know y'all are good, and I know y'all do good stuff. You and your crew. So yeah, man, that'll work. But Mark, and thank you, Milo, for that. And thank you, Dr. Brookenstein. Um, my moment, even though I'm a PK preacher's kid and I grew up in the church, black church, and this and that, and the '60s and all of that. My moment about understanding black history, besides what I was taught in the home,
Right.
my moment came in sixth grade when my sixth grade teacher, I'll never forget her name, was Mrs. Williams, a black lady. And back then, she was doing a Black History Week for the class because she taught social studies. Now, I was in a mixed school, predominantly white in junior high, but, enough black people to where it made a difference to where there was enough. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, Milo. And yeah, man, come on the show, man, anytime. I'm going to send you a date. Peace out, man. That's why this show is so good. But anyway, so she came in dressed in the dashiki, which I had never seen before, only on TV, right? And she brought in African artifacts, and she was teaching us Swahili
Oh yeah.
for that week. That everybody had to go home, pick something, one of those artifacts, research it. And back then, for you millennials watching, we actually had to go to the library, all right, and research. We didn't have instant research. We had to go to the library, and they weren't called research papers. They were called book reports because you got your information out of a book. So my book report was on African pottery of the really tall Africans, what Swahilis or whatever it is, Watusis. I remember, right? So I had to write about that and their artwork, and everybody in the class did their thing. And I realized then in sixth grade, she went against the system in New York on Long Island. She wasn't teaching us George Washington and Carver and the Peanut and, all of that stuff. She wasn't teaching us about Frederick Douglass because she had taught that and we got that. She was teaching us real black history. And Ms. Williams, I don't know if you're alive today or not, but my sixth grade teacher, thank you for that because you instilled in me, Zach Robertson, number 9, Napier Funk Army, what my history and heritage was all about.
Oh
And
yeah.
a lot of people get it twisted because Israel is basically, and it's just my opinion, where the
Mhm.
predominantly amount of Afro American people actually came from,
Mhm.
migrating through Africa. If you go back to Ezekiel and all the stuff that's in the biblical text, so there's a lot of conflict about that. But Miss Williams, and she made, the white kids, they were equally as in awe of what they were learning because they had never learned this in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the white kids were like, yo, I'm learning about African art. I'm not just learning about, Frederick Douglass that we see in a social studies book. So Miss Williams, she was the first one to do it. And then after that, it became like a yearly thing. And then the school adapted that. And then every month or every week, all the social studies classes had to do that. She was an innovator because she was a young black teacher at the time. I was fortunate. Bayshore was going through a change, and when I was going to junior high school, they brought in a lot of young black teachers. My bass teacher, Mr. Burns, taught me my musical instruments. He was a black man. At that time, in the 70s, they were actually making a change in Bayshore, Long Island. So kudos to Bayshore for that because they were making sure that Afro Americans teachers were getting a shot, where a lot of places were not. And this was in Bayshore, predominantly, mostly white. I would
Right.
say 70% white, 30% black, Latino, and everything else. So they were really trying, and black principals and black councils, people like that. So it was like part of the whole 70s Afro red, black, and green thing. So
Mhm.
I was in a very good position to get that because I was getting it in the street and I was getting it in school and I was getting it at home.
Oh yeah.
So to me, I'm very blessed and special. In my generation, we were very fortunate to have some of that. A lot of people didn't. And I think that's what's wrong today. A lot of the young black men and women are not understanding their culture. They may think, oh, yeah, I'm black, I'm proud, I know it, but they don't understand it. That's why we see some of the issues we have today with our black youth. What do you think?
No, I would definitely agree with you on that. And a lot of times they don't even understand the great history that exists in our African American population. You were talking about Swahili, and I remember working at a newspaper. It was actually a newspaper seminar that UNC, University of North Carolina, was doing and everything back in the late 70s. And there were a number of us from several states, and we actually had to create our own newspaper. And the newspaper was actually named after a Swahili word and all of that. So I remember we created that newspaper and we had to know a little bit of Swahili, had to know a little
Yeah,
bit of our history and all of that. And definitely that's something that we need more of. Even at the Malcolm X school, we had to learn a lot about history and all of that. And I was a young student. I think I was probably like 7 or 8 at the time that school was going on. But I remember definitely going to definitely have some of that lessons and all of that. And that's one of the things that we're even doing definitely around on some of my shows. You mentioned the shows and everything. And one of the shows I do on the IBM TV network is I do the online dinner party. So as part of Black History Month, I'm actually going to have, as usual, my mystery guests. And for the first week of this Black History Month, the mystery guests are all going to be from our society and all of that. So if you go back and watch last week's episode, you will see that the mystery guests included somebody that I know that you have a great deal of respect for, and that is a boxer from Louisville, Kentucky, none other than the great Muhammad Ali. So that was one of my mystery guests, gave some clues about him and all of that, the greatest, and also a major historian that a lot of people don't know, even though they know the differences about him and his rival, just kind of like Martin and Malcolm X and all of that.
yeah,
But the
yeah,
other
yeah.
mystery guest was W.E.B. Du Bois, and then I had as a mystery guest the great queen, and a lot of people were thinking that it was Cleopatra, but another great queen of Egypt was none other than Nefertiti. So those were
Nefertiti.
our 3
Right.
mystery guests and all of that, and I've still got a whole list of at least about 9 more mystery guests that will be showing up. I've already got a little bit of their names, and I'm researching some of the information, some that I already know, like the fact that Muhammad Ali was from Louisville, and some that I too am gathering knowledge about and everything. But we are definitely going to give you some lessons about our history, because as you said, a lot of times folk even wear the shirts and don't know about the shirts that they're
Don't
wearing, whether
know.
they're wearing
Don't know.
Malcolm X or whether they're wearing a number of other great leaders that they have with the shirts or the sayings on. And then if you ask them what is that person about? Who are they about? They can't really tell you a lot of their history
They
other
don't
than
know
some very
because they ain't
superficial.
paying attention, and we ain't teaching it to them. Even if we are teaching it to them, they don't care. Because I asked the kid the other day, "Hey, what do you think about Hank Aaron?" He was like, "Who's he?"
Wow.
Young
Wow.
black kid walking by. I said, "Hey, because I was looking at it, and this
Uh,
is right when Hank had died." I said, "Hey, man, what do you think about Hank Aaron?" Who's he?
who's he? Wow. One of the greatest baseball players of all time, a man that definitely broke some
Who's
color
he?
lines and all of that.
Who's he?
And this kid is going to ask you, who is he and all of that. That's just
And I
incredible.
told him who he was, and he said, "Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that." So I was
Wow.
like, "Well, now you know." I
Now
said,
you know.
"Tell everybody else he just died in case you missed it." In case you weren't paying attention or what gaming or whatever the hell you're doing. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Sometimes, and I encourage my daughters, they both do this, man. I make them read books on
Right.
purpose. I was like, I don't care what you do. Maya has to read a book a week. And
Oh,
then
wow.
yeah, my 12-year-old. And then I will ask her on Monday, what did you read? How's the book? Tell me. She's got to give me a little miniature 5-minute synopsis. I force them to read books
Oh, yeah.
because all of this other stuff is great, the knowledge, technology, but picking up an old fashioned book and flipping through the pages, we still need to keep that. We still need to keep some of that. I think people lose track of that. I feel bad because our libraries now and our schools, and I'm driving around, whatever, bro, and I'm like, these places are empty. They're mausoleums now. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You go past the schools, they're empty. They look like ruins.
Right.
I'm like, wow, this is so bad. They're actually, to me, I felt bad. I drove by and I'm like, Jesus, I feel like I'm in the 1930s when there was a dust bowl and across 30 states there was nothing but dust. It's crazy, man. It really bothered me when I drove past the library the other day and it was closed. It
Yeah.
hurt me some kind of way. I felt some kind of way about it. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I feel the same way when I see some of these empty buildings and all of that. They're not being used in the way that they should be and all of that. But you're talking about the ruins and definitely some of the history that exists and everything. I want folks to, as they're listening to us, think about the fact that you're talking about books and all of that. But remember that in ancient Egypt and a lot of our great societies of the past, a lot of this history was written down. It might have been written down in drawings or in other kind of forms, but they were still telling our story and those histories and all of that, or they were doing it in the old griot fashion of just passing down oral history and all of that. And
Yep.
sometimes I feel that
Yep.
we have lost a lot of that because of some of the things that are going on in
That's
modern
right.
society and all of that.
That's
So
right.
it's something that we've definitely got to pass on to the next generation, sharing some of these stories, and they can even be done in fictional ways. I mean, that's why I kind of enjoyed what happened a few years ago before the pandemic with Black Panther and all of that. So definitely they can be told in other forms or fashions. They don't always have to be told in the more historical variety. But speaking of great folks that we lost, and I had mentioned this to you on one of our previous shows and everything, we lost not that long ago the great Cicely Tyson. And one of the things I loved about her
Oh God,
was that
yes.
very powerful play, which we've also talked about before, Miss Pittman and all of that, the movie that she did about Miss Pittman and all of that. And that was just actually sharing with us and sharing with our young people a little bit of the history of the civil rights era. Some of these folks were not even, they weren't even, not only weren't they a thought, they weren't even, their parents weren't even a thought in some cases when that era was going on and everything. So it's definitely a way, even those movies, that we can share a little bit of our history, whether it's that one, whether it's movies about Madam C.J. Walker, whether it's movies about Frederick Douglass, whether it's even like Hidden Image, which was shown a few years ago. It showed about our impact on the science community and all of that. So there are some great movies and some great books out there that folks can actually watch and learn some of this great history. So I would urge people to go
That's
back
right.
and even watch some of the history of some of those great warriors of the past. I know that there have even been
Yep.
movies about like Shaka Zulu and some of the other great African leaders. And that's some of the things that our young folks need to go back and take some time out, pick up a book like Jack said.
Amistad is another good one too. That movie
Yes.
Amistad. But bro, I wanted to tell you something. Speaking of what you was talking about, remember I used to tell you last year that Queen Latifah should do the Mahalia Jackson story.
Yes.
That story is out now, but she ain't doing it. But there's another lady that actually doing the Mahalia Jackson story. I saw the previews for it.
Cool.
I was reading about Ella Fitzgerald, and again, pick up books and read.
Right.
Right. Ella Fitzgerald went to jail
Mm-hmm.
in Georgia for
Right.
singing for white people.
Yep. Yep.
Now, what kind of effed up crap is that? She sang the concert. They told her not to. She was going to go to jail. This woman was fighting civil rights. She did it anyway. Black musician, Sam Cooke, you name it. Always have it. There's a very good documentary on Netflix about Sam Cooke. I urge everybody to watch it because he was getting ready to blow the roof off and then obviously tear the roof off. They couldn't have a black man tear the roof off the sucker, so they killed him. But besides that, Ella Fitzgerald went to jail for singing, right? At a concert. So, like, come on.
Yep. Yep.
Come on. It's like, come on. So, and when I read that, I was like, damn. Muggs couldn't catch a break, man. He couldn't catch a break. She's sitting in jail with her mink coat and her pearls on. They took a picture of it, And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's messed up. Thank God, man, we had people that came before us. That's why I'm telling all you young people, you guys are stacked on the shoulders of greatness. I am stacked on the shoulders of greatness. The funk thing that I do is because of George Clinton, who was born in North Carolina, migrated to Plainfield. It's because of Bootsy Collins. It's because of James Brown. It's because of Bernie Worrell. It's because of Skeet Curtis and Mike Hampton and Boogie Munson. It's because of Eddie Hazel and Gary Scheider and Linda Scheider. It's because of Belita Woods and Amuka and Dawn and all the sisters of Paulette. And all the sisters of the brides. And it's because of all those great horn sections and Dennis Chambers and Jerome Braley and Tiki Fullwood, and Frankie Cash-Waddy and, Judy Morrison. It's because of all of these great people and Cliff Payne and, Peanut Johnson. And it's all of these people, they enabled me and bands like mine to stand on their shoulders and keep that funk alive. That's why we do this thing. That's why Milo Z is coming on my show. That's why I got Joe Keys coming on the show with some funk, and they're going to play live. Because if we don't perpetuate our cultural artistic thing, which is funk that I'm into, it will die. And
you're so right about that. We've definitely got to, honor the great legends of funk, the great legends of music that is dear to my heart, of blues, the great legends of jazz, and all of that. One of the things that I hadn't told you about and everything was the last couple of days and everything, when I've had some breaks and everything, I've actually pulled up some YouTube clips and everything of some past great, amazing shows. Because sometimes, even if you go back to YouTube, you can find some amazing interviews. I saw one. It was actually a roast of Richard Pryor. I think it was after one of his shows had gone off the air back in like the late 70s and all of that. And Paul Mooney was actually hosting it. But Tim Reed was there roasting him, as was Sandra Bernhardt, as was even a number of other greats that were in that comedy space and all of that. So I pulled that roast up and saw even Robin Williams. I'm trying to remember the great comedian that has passed away that was on that roast, but Robin Williams was on that roast. And then I'd also pulled up like an interview of Miles Davis. I think that was with Dick Cavett and everything. Wow. It was like an interview between Miles Davis and Dick Cavett, and another one might have been like around, and I don't know if I've watched that one yet, but I know there was one with Joe Frazier in one of those talk shows and a number of others. So, like I said,
sometimes Frazier.
Sometimes you can just pull up some great history.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Howard Cosell was the bomb. I used to love Howard Cosell.
Totally the bomb. There was one with James Baldwin. So, like I said, sometimes if you just want to see some great history, you can go back and pull up.
I saw that one with Baldwin, by the way. I saw the one with James Baldwin. That was deep. He was a very interesting black man because he seriously was telling people, "Listen, I ain't racist. I'm just gonna leave the country."
Yep.
That was the funniest thing. He's like, all right. He hit the pause button real quick on America. He's like, I'm out. Plane ticket to Paris, where they're going to treat me like a man, and all I want to do is get a cup of coffee. Over here, we beating people at the lunch counter. He's like, man, I just want to write and get a cup of coffee, man. James Baldwin was deep, Brother, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to let you go do your thing. I got to do something for you. We're going to jump off the air. Again, hanging out. Extra time with Funk from the front seat. I'm going to call this extra time backseat chatter. You know, we went to the Roundhouse on Sunday, but now on Funk from the front seat. After the show, we got a little backseat chatter going on. So y'all can hang out for that backseat chatter. Stay interactive. Thank all you guys. I'm getting ready to go off and get out of here. And I'm going to let Mark take us home, baby.
All right. We're going to definitely do that. I'm going to see if we can't pull out that lovely ticker and all of that thing. So we're going to do a backwards ticker and all of that since we wait for your theme to come that way. And I can't wait to see that amazing animation that gentleman is going to do. I've seen the previews, and I know that thing is going to be rocking and everything. But we're going to do a 30-second back count in order to reverse the end of the show on this show. So here's our 30-second back count.